So here's how I created this animation. So let's start with the scene of the city. I basically used a bunch of free models from BlenderKit and arranged them in the scene. BlenderKit is a free asset library add-on with a free or paid subscription with a bunch of models and textures. To get some realistic night light, I used a sky texture and added a RGB curve in front of it, in which I turned down the red and the green channels, so the only thing left is blue. And I also turned down the overall brightness. And that gives us something that looks like a night scene lit by moonlight. So for the windows inside the buildings, I imported these images as planes and added a color ramp in front of them and tinted them blue because that was the look I was going for. And then I used this as a emission texture. Now you can put these planes inside the buildings. Then I added some point lights with IAS textures and I used my CyberScape Pro setup to fill out the backgrounds. CyberScape is a procedural city generator you can get on Blender Market. So I pasted it into the scene, made it a little bit smaller. So then I deactivated the neon ads, adjusted the height of the buildings and changed the settings of the textures. I added a cube around everything and plugged a emission into the volume output of the material so we get a little bit of mist in our scene. Inside the buildings I used a bunch of BlenderKit assets again to create the room inside. So the forest scene was created with the forest generator, which is a procedural realistic forest generator with multiple biomes. You can get it on my Blender Market page. Links to it are in the descriptions. So now the question is, how do we get the forest scene inside the snow globe? So the first instinct is to just paste the forest in there and scale it down so it fits inside the snow globe. But the problem is now we are operating at extremely small sizes in Blender, at which points things inside Blender get very weird. Not only does navigating with the camera become very difficult, also if I add in the B model now and make it so small that it fits to the relation of the forest, Blender just starts to do this with the model. Things get very buggy if you go that small. So it is not possible to go infinitely smaller inside of Blender. So what we have to do is to create the forest inside a separate file and just combine these scenes in compositing. So let's use the forest generator in a new scene and just use the real scale of it. So I'm going to use a cube to scatter the forest on and select align trees to normal and turn down the edge crease of the subdivision to 0. So the cube gets subdivided into a sphere. Then I use this free HDRI from HDR Haven. The B is actually also a free model included in the BlenderKit add-on. So now the problem is that we need the exact same camera motion for both scenes. But we can't just copy the camera to the forest scene because the forest scene is a lot larger. So we need a camera in a bigger scale. So first of all, let's animate the camera inside the city and add a empty around the globe in which the forest is supposed to be. Now parent the camera and the snow globe to this empty. And we're going to copy all of these objects and paste them into the forest scene. Now we can use this empty to scale up the globe to a size where the forest fits inside it. After that you can delete the snow globe because we just need it for a reference. So after that you can adjust the camera movement. So because we changed the camera animation again, we have to copy this camera back to the city scene. So just paste the camera with the empty in there and place the empty exactly at the same position as the old empty and the exact same scale. And now we have the exact same camera motion in both scenes, only with the relative sizes. So to overlay these two scenes in the compositing stage, I'm going to duplicate the glass object and create a new material for it and just use the holdout shader. This will render everything inside the globe as transparent. Now inside DaVinci Resolve we just have to put these clips on top of each other and the forest will be inside the snow globe. So this is basically how I made this entire animation. Check out the link in the description if you want to get CyberScape Pro or the Forest Generator. There's going to be a sale on the Blender Market at the end of this month where you can get 25% off on a bunch of products including mine. And there's also going to be a new update on the Forest Generator with a new snow biome. Subscribe to the channel, watch the trailer for my latest short film and follow me on other platforms.